Hello guys, full time at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0. We've just had a sort of post-side huddle with Mikel Arteta, a few journalists. He's not happy, man. And no surprise, because Arsenal absolutely got what they deserved this evening, which was nothing. They were terrible. Really poor performance, front to back. And there were a lot of players missing, I think about 10 players, Arteta said. Nevertheless, the 11 that they put out should have had enough to, enough to beat, you'd like to think. Certainly a championship side, but certainly to make it much more difficult for them than it was. Arsenal were disappointing, I think, in pretty much every respect of the game. Decision making, speed of moving the ball, physicality, and it was a pretty concerning defeat because it's not like a whole load of cavalry are rushing back anytime soon. Arteta wouldn't confirm whether or not Granit Xhaka will be available for the Liverpool game. I think Emil Smith-Rowe will be. Tomiyasu, you'd imagine, will be, but again, Arteta would not confirm that, so they have to see how they evolve. No matter who plays at Anfield, they will have to be so much better than they were tonight. A few quick things. Nuno Tavares came off. Arteta just said he wanted to improve the team. I think Tavares was really poor, and I have to say, we were here in person and Arteta was doing a lot of in-game coaching, as you know he does, with his positional play. He's chasing back, as well as the stuff on the ball, the eye-catching stuff like the bad back pass and stuff. And he was having a nightmare. And let's not forget, Arteta stuck with him when he made the big mistake at Anfield, when his all-round game was good. And his all-round game was very bad. And I think he was also slightly victim of two other things. Number one, he's playing on the flank right in front of the manager, so he can see if he's not following instructions, and I think it was clearly irritating him. Number two, Tierney's on the bench, and he's a clear first-team player who could improve the team. And so on Tierney comes. You know, if it was just about hauling Tavares off, and if we wanted to protect Tierney, he did have Kolasinac there, could have used him, but didn't. And I think if we'd had a right-back who Arteta had real faith in, maybe Cedric would have come off, but we didn't. We had Tierney, and so Tavares paid the price. Completely understand his frustration throwing the gloves down, although I have to say when he did it, I winced, because if we know anything about Mikel Arteta, it's that he doesn't take particularly kindly to those sorts of public displays of dissent. So maybe there'll be a bit of fallout from that one, who knows. Can't really afford to lose any squad players at this point, so I hope not. I thought we looked very light in the middle of the park. The loss of Granit Xhaka to COVID comes at a terrible time for Arsenal. Very frustrating. What can you do? Partey and El Neni are away. Obviously, we know Xhaka was not vaccinated in the summer when he was taken ill with COVID, whenever it was, August, September, I forget exactly. Maybe his vaccination status has changed since then. Maybe it's just bad luck, who knows. But with Ainsley Maitland-Niles starting and playing for Roma while Arsenal were losing this game, the wisdom of that decision, I think, could be called into question in terms of letting him go. Do Arsenal need additions? It feels like it right now. It'll feel probably a lot better in 2 or 3 weeks when we get some players back, but there's a lot of big games in the interim. The reality is, though, the situation probably isn't going to change between now and Thursday, maybe not between now and Sunday in terms of signing somebody. It would take quite a dramatic turnaround. Arsenal are not close to anything in the transfer market based on what I know. So that's going to be the conversation. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But a really disappointing night. Really poor performance. Credit to Nottingham Forest. They played very well. But for Arsenal, yeah, they're going to have to be, I mean, infinitely better than this Thursday and Sunday. For all the optimism around the club, and there is plenty, started the league with started the year rather with 2 defeats, and the fixture list doesn't get much easier. Right, bye.